What's up? This is Lance Rock from the Calamities, here with the Calamity Corner. I'm here with Bboy Ronnie.
What's up, Bboy Ronnie?
Yeah, and so this dude I've known in my first B-Boy video, Out for Fame West Coast Finals, the year 2000. I watched this and I was like, he was one of the rounds that I remember I was tripping out on. So anyway, let's get to know him real quick. So introduce yourself, you know, crews, and just when you started dancing and all that.
My name is Bboy Ronnie. I represent Full Force from Las Vegas, 7 Commandoz worldwide, the Redbull BC One All-Stars, and SuperCr3w.
Cool. So for me, what I really wanted to know was, as I mentioned earlier, there was a battle that you did against, was it Pieces? It was in Canada or something. It was like an early battle. 03.
Yeah, it was almost a decade ago.
Yeah, 02, something like that. Anyway, when I first saw that battle, it was like, holy shit, this guy found his style. Or like, before, when I saw him before to now, it looked like you had so much conviction and so much confidence in your style that when you were battling him, I was like, wow, he's gonna stick with that and he's gonna take it to the moon. And I think that's exactly what you did. So what I want to know is like, when did you feel like your style clicked? Your creativity, your thought process, your whole idea of training, when did it really click, and what's your motivation behind the way you move?
I'm trying to think of when I actually started feeling like I found my style. I think I was always, you know, in the lab trying to create something unique, because my whole thing is, you know, you're a B-boy, you have to try to be original, you have to try to have a distinct style to separate yourself from everyone else. So that was my whole goal, to try to be different, try to be myself. And I think maybe it was around like 03, 04, and I think that was around the same year when I battled Pieces. Before that, I mean, I had a style, but I wasn't really that confident doing it. But you know, when you keep practicing it and when you start feeling comfortable with your style and your moves and everything you're doing, you actually start gaining that confidence, and your execution is a lot better. So I think against Pieces, at that point, all the moves I was doing years before that like started clicking. You know what I mean? So I was still doing the same moves, but maybe it didn't translate before that. You know, it's almost like anything else. You know, you have a certain style, but you're kind of sloppy, and then you kind of fine tune the rough edges, and then all of a sudden it just clicks. So I think around that time is when it clicked, and I was comfortable with my style. I started finding ways to transition my moves comfortably even while I was freestyling, and that was actually the year when I started doing a lot of exhibition battles.
So it was like you found different textures for the same kind of image that you were trying to present.
Yeah, it's just, you know what it is, like finding, you have like all these little pieces to the puzzle, and then finally you're figuring out ways to just kind of combine every piece, and then now when you know where those pieces go, it's almost like second nature to you. It's like, oh shit, okay, well let me put this here and put that there. And I think that's how my mind works. You know, like I feel like I have an intricate style that I understand. It's my style. I don't feel like someone has to teach me how to, you know, thread or do certain moves. Even with power moves, I have a different form than a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
So it is, you know, unorthodox, and I think what helped me with this unorthodox style is being in a city where we didn't really have a lot of B-boys surrounding us. So, you know, with my crew, Full Force, we kind of created a different style, an innovative style that a lot of people didn't really see, and which is kind of lost in this generation, because a lot of, you know, B-boys are watching a lot of videos, and you know, it's not bad to draw inspiration from videos, but sometimes it's subconscious, you don't realize it, but you end up kind of getting caught up in doing, you know, the end move.
Yeah. That's, I mean, for me, I think that Full Force, as I mentioned before, does have a branded style. Like I could tell, like that's a Full Force branded style. So you know, props to that. We're gonna move on to another thing though. Freestyle versus sets. So there's been arguments about it. You know what I mean? Or maybe dialogue or debates. But to me, the way I see how you get down is you won BC One, and you've been in all the big competitions. You probably had some of the best exhibitions that you know, the middle 2000s onward, people could work off of or look at, and they're like, wow, you know, from battling Benji to Wake Up and before that, you know, pieces or whatnot,
Yeah.
and you know, guys in the present. Anyway, but for competitions, like, how do you view freestyling and how do you view sets?
So with sets, for me personally, if I were to do sets and battles, it would be more crucial to do them in one-on-ones, because one-on-one, not only is it a battle, but it's also a battle about stamina and endurance, you know, and it helps to have sets because you're conserving your energy. When you freestyle, a lot of times you just really kind of go off and you don't really think about your stamina, because if it is a crew battle or if it is freestyling in the cypher, then you're just going, you know what I mean? There's no really limits or rounds. But like I said, so I think it's important to have sets in the one-on-one. And with freestyling, of course I don't take anything away from freestyling, but I think it's safer to freestyle if it was just a cypher battle where there is no judges, or in a crew battle when you're feeling the music. But I mean, the best advice I could give anyone is to just come to a compromise and do both. Like if you have small sets and then you could freestyle in between that and, you know, use your musicality, then why not? And I think that's what people are doing now. Like the sets versus freestyling is just, I see a lot of b-boys that are doing sets within their freestyle. So they're finding the happy medium. So just like how it was when it was style versus power, people are starting to realize like, okay, well, why don't we just integrate both and, you know, be as well-rounded as it could be.
Yeah, right. You made a really good point. Like back then it was this discussion of style versus power, which still is relevant, but now it's very much, you know, what kind of sets can someone put together versus a freestyle. Because, I mean, I know, you know, like when I practice and when I train, like a lot of it's very freestyle, very much. And then I will have little combos here and there. I will throw in combos because I know like, when you need your dynamite shit, you need your dynamite shit. Sometimes the music doesn't make you funky, it doesn't make you want to go out.
Exactly, and that's another thing too. Like, freestyling is dope, but if you are just freestyle and you're all about the music, what happens when you're not feeling the music? Then you're gonna have an off day. You know what I'm saying? There are some b-boys like that. Like, you know, I'm feeling the music. I ain't gonna go out.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it helps. You know, like I said, just come to a compromise and just find that happy medium.
Yeah, because when you enter BC One, you kind of enter in the terms of like, I'm here to battle. You know what I mean? Like, you can't yell at the DJ for like, I know it sucks if the DJ is whack or whatever, but you entered the battle, you agreed to do whatever it is they wanted you to do.
So you can't complain with the DJ plays.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree with that. So that's why it does help. It does help to have sets. But at the same time, you know, I'm not taking anything away from b-boys that are just strictly off freestyle, because I've seen some amazing b-boys that will go out there and they are freestyling. And the dope thing about freestyling is sometimes you come up with moves that, you know, you never thought you would end up doing from freestyling. Sometimes when I freestyle, I come up with moves that I end up using in the set. So, I mean, ultimately, I think that it's whatever you feel comfortable doing. You know, some people are more confident just doing sets. Some people are more comfortable doing, you know, just all freestyles or freestyle sets. But I think it's just really all about, you know, being confident and just going out there and killing it, having soul.
Cool. To be more specific, so when you train, how is it that you think of stuff? Like when you're getting ready for these comps or whatnot, is it that you freestyle and then you're like, oh, I like that move, I'm gonna put that into a set, or do you start like thinking about sets and then putting it together that way? Like, what is your thought process behind getting your arsenal?
My thought process in the practice, yeah, just pretty much trying to think of moves that say people are doing and trying to innovate anything that I see so it looks completely different, and just trying to be completely different from everyone else. And I think with my moves, I just really try to, I guess, tell a story. I just want everything to flow right, try to be clean, try to execute well, and you know, that's the problem I see with some b-boys, that, you know, they're trying to do moves that they don't look comfortable doing. You know what I mean? Just to please like the judges or whatever. But my whole thing is just really stick to your own style and, you know, whatever you're comfortable doing. I know, of course, I don't want to contradict myself by saying like, okay, stick to your own style, but be well-rounded. The way I look at it is just really try to incorporate everything. But then when it comes down to it, when you're doing your own moves, do the moves that you feel comfortable doing, like in the battle. And I see that because I could see a lot of b-boys that have original styles, or I could see b-boys that are good, but they're just doing moves that have already been done. And to me, it's all about evolving moves and elevating to the next level.
You gotta make it like second nature to feel like you want to do something different. Is that the way you feel? Like you won't feel comfortable doing what everyone else is doing. It's always about, all right, what can I do? How can I, tell my own story?
Yes, exactly. And yeah, that's all it really is. Just being comfortable, and because the more comfortable you are, the more confident you be, and honestly, like that projects to the audience. It projects, to the judges. If you're just a performer and not in battle, people could see, the confidence in your moves and in your execution. So I think it's just all about, repetition and just running your moves and really feeling confident with your style.
Dope. Well, that's pretty much it. If you want to give any shout outs, follow Ronnie on Twitter. The link is below in the description. And and we're gonna show you a B-Boy minute with him. So any shout outs?
Shout outs to all my crews. Shout out to Calamities, Eranetik, and Lancer holding it down here in Las Vegas. And big ups, big respects to y'all.
Cool.
Peace.
Thanks, man. Peace. So one person asked, do you ever recruit members for your crew or your crews?
For my crews, well, specifically with Full Force, it's a long process just to get down with the crew, because it's more than just being a talented b-boy, but it's a lot about being part of the fam. And I think all the other crews, not really, no, we don't, because it's 7 Commandoz, you can only have 7 members, so that's pretty much locked down. The Redbull BC One All-Stars, it's up to Redbull pretty much, and you have to be involved in the Redbull BC One competition. And with SuperCr3w, in order to get in SuperCr3w, you have to be part of either one of the 3 crews, Full Force, Battle Monks, or Knuckhead.
Cool. Another person asked, would you like to battle at BC One again or any other big comps? Do you have any plans for that in the future?
Yes. No, actually, I've gotten invited to UK Championships, but I've never had the opportunity to go. That's one competition that I do want to enter, and of course Redbull BC One. I still want another chance to compete when I'm ready. But as of now, of course, with a busy schedule, it's hard to really take a one-on-one serious. So when I get more time to train, I'm definitely going to try to shoot for another BC One competition.
Cool. And the last question from B-Boy B-Girl fan, I guess. Do you have any advice for starters who have no dance background and they want to start dancing, but they don't have a community to kind of back them up?
Yeah, you know what? Well, I come from a generation where I didn't have a community either. And when I did have a crew and say part of the members quit or the only b-boy that was motivated was myself, I would train on my own. So I mean, if it's something you really are passionate about, or if you're trying to get into it, it doesn't hurt to practice on your own or watch tutorials on YouTube, or I mean whatever it takes. I mean, I would never try to discourage you just to stop dancing because you don't have a community. Maybe you're that one person that will start the community in your small city.
Yeah, I
be the leader.
Yeah, I could relate to that because when I first started off, I know I was in San Diego, which has a beautiful dance history, but I wasn't part of that. It wasn't like I was born into it. I didn't really know anything. So when I first started breaking, I really just went to the library, went to yahoo.com and typed in like how to breakdance, you know what I mean? And I looked at library books to like learn. And then one time at Christmas, I asked my dad, can I buy like these how to breakdance videos? You know what I mean?
That's great.
Yeah. The cool thing though is, besides the main teacher, it was like Josh and Venom from Skill Methods that was in the video that was teaching. So it was like I was like learning from cats. Yeah, but I didn't know. I didn't know until I saw them in the future, and I was like, oh, those are the guys. You know what I mean?
That is crazy.
So like before the YouTube generation, but even when I started like in my neighborhood, no one didn't really want to do it. We were all skaters, and they were kind of making fun of me at first. But then shit catches on.
That was my upbringing too. When I started, there was a small scene, and then when everyone quit, I went through a phase where I felt like I was the only one trying to do it still. And it was cool that we found different communities. So I mean, here's an advice: if you don't have a community in your city, then travel outside of your city, outside of your state, and start, you know, trying to go to different events, exploring different competitions, and once you start getting comfortable, start competing. Because that's what we did. You know, there was never really competitions in Las Vegas. So when my crew started getting back into it, we would drive out to California and enter competitions out there.
Cool.